During the anti-poison life program Constantina has been referred to, there were 78 cases in Crete of poison baits. During the same time, as we researched the court cases, we just found one. So one case out of 78 came to court. Summing up, in the beginning, there are no efforts to raise public awareness, no investigation mechanism, no statistics in environmental crime, no effective pressure in the economic activity, and that not only in national level or local level, as well as EU level, as we found out. And that brings us to the major question: how can we get paid? How can Life Themis members still can get paid? Because we're doing exactly the opposite. We are doing great efforts in raising public awareness. We're creating an investigation mechanism, bringing together this so-called prosecution chain, means judges, prosecutors, as well as preliminary employees of the administration. We create statistics for the first time in Greece, and it's rarely notified in Europe as well. And we're trying to put some effective pressure in economic activity, where, as stated by the head of the Council of the State this year, the National High Court, the head who resigned by saying that economic activity is taking place over the rule of law. So how on earth does that happen? I guess this should give us a reason to put optimism over despair. Imagine you have a fat, orange, big cat at home, at your place. Even it's your regional unit, or if it is Greece, or if it is the European Union. And this big fat orange cat does not move around. You have 20 mice dancing all the house, yes? How do? You can stay in your despair, saying, my cat is fat, it doesn't chase anymore. Or you can think of ways, of tools, to train your cat. So let's see which tools can be utilized in order to train our cat. All the tools I'm going to present are inspired by the NP Congress held with honor 1 month ago in Crete. All the tools are applicable, affordable, and effective. It means both of legislative and economic perspective. That means they are not breaking any EU law, and they are also affordable for the administration to carry with the budget. First things first, our mechanism of combating wildlife is the GIS map. We are collecting all the court decisions we find on the island of Crete, of course, where Life Themis takes place, and uploading them by crime type, by time of commitment, by time of this court discussion, and by the outcome. It's not only the first time we register crime, it's also the first time we can picture out crime. Green crime is a sort of invisible crime, as the offender is never there when the police comes, or the police is never there when the offenders are. So in each way we cannot picture it out, but we can trace it. And this is a great way, a very simple way, with this free open source Google Earth map, to get the hotspots of crime, or even get literally the trace of crime, like this economic activity here in the region of Athens, in Crete. This helps the administration to provide a better planning of environmental patrols, to qualitative and quantitative assess the green crime, even predict green crime assessment, as the offenders come again and again in the same places for certain reasons, of course, and an interdepartmental cooperation, and of course the awakening of the local communities. Second tool This is given to us by the Environmental Agency of Italy. It was presented. It's also most of this an open source application. It's observation through satellites. There they can, through comparing of different satellite pictures, they can see where torching has been taking place, or where grazing lands come instead of forest, or even where an extensive pesticide has come in order to fight it, or when the vegetation is not anymore so much as it used to be, to understand that there is illegal logging. So many results actually. Even watching, observing the shores of the riverbanks, they can find out where illegal constructions occur, or where illegal irrigation of water, abstraction of water could also occur. Through the thermal emissions of the soil, they can find out landfills which are not cannot seen with bare eye. There are many applications, of course, picturing with satellite images of high quality where the waste disposals are, and then continuing with investigating if there is an authorized activity or not. Drones applied by Italy, as we've seen today in the morning. Italy is the first one in poaching or in bird taking in general. So they are implementing drones in order to approach inaccessible locations. Of course, they have to deal with weaponized poachers, illegal hunters, so they can surveil them without harming themselves. It's a big reason for not contributing for the administration. And of course, capturing photos in order to give them to the prosecutor who will have to file the case and needs certain proof. Third one, very easy but totally effective in its outcome. The cross-check of data between different departments of the administration. The data are there. It's really easy to do the macroscopic cross-check of the data. In this case, the Agricultural Policy Department, which gives the subsidies for the farmers, and the data held from the fire service officers. They combined that, and they saw that in grazing lands there has been a torch, so they got down the subsidies, and they saw that between 2010 and 2013 the ratio of torching went down by 70%. So a really good example of good practice, harmless for the officers. These are the non-human partners of the Natural History Museum. I guess we are all proud of them. They have, of course, two human partners as well. Karina and Daika are patrolling since 2016 along the island, and not only along the island, they've already been in Rhodes, for example. The first 2 months of their implementation, they gathered 100 of illegal baits, or poisonous baits, and the guys with the dogs already got a case filed, brought a case to court. You know about the secondary poisoning, I will not speak about that. Monitoring, a great example given to us by the German LIFE program, the Northern Bald Ibis, that was introduced in order to reintroduce the bald ibis in the nature, but at the same time it can be utilized as a poaching alert system. It's such a small tag, it can be placed on the back of the birds, so they can watch as soon as the bird is shot, for example, or captivated. A general positioning system gives a signal The task force notifies directly the police, which is in the place, so the poacher can be, in the best case, be caught in the act, or at least be traced. That's really good. Our application, easy, accessible, affordable to each and every one of us. This we have to thank the Hellenic Society for the Protection of Nature for that. Take a snapshot. It's really 4 steps. Send it to the environmental investigators. They sort it out and notify the competent authority. We have already had a success last year with an illegal dump site of waste. There has already been a fine for 4,000 euros, which has been cut down to 2,000 euros by the authority. So, last but not least, in order to make international our presentation, the police unit. This scheme is based on the Massachusetts, on the Boston State Police for the Environment, a totally simple system of 5 people working with special cars, vehicles, patrolling, and of course special operational unit mechanism, working in the whole Massachusetts region, which is, let's say, 3 times the Cretan Island, working with 2 state prosecutors. The key issue is that they can send them directly everything they find. And these 2 prosecutors do not work with no other case. They just do environmental law. They just prosecute environmental cases. So 7 people can patrol over a region of 3 times Crete. These are the examples, these are the tools I had to deliver to you, because it has also been delivered to us throughout these 3 years of the life Themis, of which we are proud of which we should also be proud of. So go beyond Themis. Themis will have an end in 2020, but the combating against green crime is just starting. Be proud of your work. Thank you very much.